Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices like Queenz. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today it's all about the bees. Not just the bees, not just the gardens and the flowers that they're going to be on, but the queen bee. Today we're talking about Queenz. This is sort of a tactical strategy game for 2 to 4 players, designed by my favorite designer, Bruno Cathala. And what we're going to do is teach you how the game's played as an overview, and then I'll see you on the other side. In Queenz, you're going to be gathering different flowers and then placing them into your own personal garden that you'll be building with these polyomino style tiles. You're going to be placing colors, trying to match them together. You're going to be trying to match different bees with the different beehives. And when you fill up your board, you're going to be adding more tiles, being able to place these here and try to enlarge your garden for points. On your turn, most of the time, you're going to be taking tiles from the row that the gardener's in. Now, you can take 1, 2, or 3 tiles from here, depending on the types of tiles you pull. Now, if you take 3 tiles that are different color, and none of them have bees on it, you can take all 3 of these. If it looked like this, you can take any 2 of the ones that don't have bees, even if they're the same color, but in this case, you're only taking up to 2 of those tiles. Or if you take any of the tiles that have any bees on them, you take just 1 of them. So let's say we take these 2. Now, depending on the amount of tiles you take, that's how far you're going to move this for the next player. So depending on the amount of tiles you take, you're setting your other player up for certain things, and a lot of the tactics in the game is maybe not taking the tiles you want to put your opponent in a place where they don't have the best choices for them. Because as the game goes on, and as this gardener works their way around, these are going to start emptying out, and they're going to have less and less choices as they come around. Now I actually pretended I've taken a few turns before, and now I'm going to place those 2 here, and I'm completely full. On my next turn, if I'm full, instead of moving the gardener, I must start a garden. Now there'll be 5 shapes out there to start the game, and I'll take one and start building it in front of me. Now when placing tiles, you can place them anywhere on here. If you want, you can place a beehive. It's good to put those near bees. I'll tell you why that's important in just a moment. Let's say we do something like that. Now notice we've got some left over. That's fine. And then we'll score this. If you have at least 2 tiles touching, you'll get a point for each. That's the same color. So 1, 2 for the blues and 1, 2 for the whites. These, at the end of the game, you'll get a point for each bee that's on any of the 8 surrounding spaces. So at the end of the game, I've given myself 4 points by putting a beehive there. Now, since I scored at least 2 here for both of these colors, I'll put these honey pots here to show that I've scored those. Once I've scored all of those, you'll take this bonus. The first one there will get 10 points, second will get 6, third will get 5, and last will get 4 if you're playing up to a 4-player game. Now let's fast forward a little bit. Let's say we have this. Now on my next turn, I don't have to go to the gardener and pull just 1 tile. I can actually build a new section now because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them there, and that's how we can put up to as many as we want on there. So let's say we take this piece from the middle and we put it just like that. And let's say we place them like this. Now this white one isn't going to score anything because it's not touching any other one. So I could have left it here, but I want to show you something that might happen a little bit later, so we'll put it here. Now, the blue is going to score because it's added to a contiguous blue from before. So now we're actually going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. So every time you add a new piece of garden, you can cascade it with the colors that you've built before as well, and that's a cool part of this game. So I would have gotten 4 for blue and nothing for any of these, but keep in mind I just added 5 more bees that are surrounding this hive, so that's going to get me 5 more points at the end of the game. So let's say it's my turn, I get to here, and I'm going to pull this. Anytime you pull that single queen bee, you can only pull 1 tile. And when you take that, you can decide to swap this for anything in the supply. So maybe I do something like this, and I put that like that, giving me this little score. That'll help score things later. Now anytime somebody forces the gardener to go around the board, this will get filled, and the player that did that will get a point. And also anytime there's only 1 of these left and someone takes it, they'll get a point, but then they refill it with the top 5 of the pile that were, there's a big pile of these at the beginning of the game. Now you'll continue doing this until one player has gotten all 5 that they needed and filled them up something like this. Everyone else gets to, is the only time they're able to kind of take one from the pile and fill it even if they can't fill it all the way. And then you're going to do some final scoring. Now keep in mind players are getting points as they do the cascading color scoring as you add a new tile as I showed before, but you're also going to get points for those beehives. Again, 1 point for every bee that's around the hive. So this hive's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. This Hive's gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This one's gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Wow. Add up all your points, whoever has the most at the end wins. All right, well, there's Queenz. Let's first talk about what I liked. First of all, beautiful Vincent Dutrait art. Vincent Dutrait is one of my favorite artists in the board game industry, and this game does look beautiful on the table. It will definitely draws you right in. I like the tactical tile selection, where you look at the tiles, you're trying to figure out, should I take 1, 2, or 3, depending on what strategy I'm going on, what's there, but even more so, what am I giving to my opponent? And I love that simplicity, but the tacticalness there, where if I take 1, it's going to move them there, and that will give my opponent this choice. If I take 2, it will give them this choice. And you're looking at what they're doing, you're looking at their plans, and what's the best thing to give you the best leg up, and then the leg down. And I love that aspect of this, where the interactiveness there is huge. I like that you're either trying to sort of focus on building up a lot of the same color, or the bees, or both, a little bit of hybrid, or spreading out and doing all the different colors and getting the bonus tiles. Lots of different ways to go there, and I like that aspect of that. Choosing the garden tile. So when it's time to fit one in there, you're trying to figure out which one's going to fit best, and then as the game goes on, which one's going to fit best around what you're doing, based upon what you've already got, and based upon what tiles you've been choosing the last couple of turns. I like that aspect. The timing of refilling both the flowers in the middle of the board and the garden tiles. Because that can be important, where again you're moving that gardener around, and you might force it so that you're going to be the one to be able to move it around, refill it, you get an extra point. Or you might wait a little bit, if you can, let your opponent take the last of the 5 big garden tiles, and then that allows that to refill, and you're going to get a lot more choices. So there's some interesting subtle timing of different things there that is definitely fun to play around with. The placement of the hives is huge. You're trying to basically surround it with a lot of bees, and maybe you can surround a bunch of them, and those bees can surround more than one hive, and it's fun to kind of like make that happen. The cascading scoring effect of colors is really fun. Like, hey, I scored 3 blue this time. Next time I put just 1, I score 4. Or 2, you score 5. And then you score more and more and more. Each time you add, you can keep scoring everything that you've already scored before in that color, and that's really fun. It feels like a sort of combo building there. I like you're able to swap the queen bee with another one in your garden, and that gives you some flexibility because a lot of things are sort of spatial here. So I like that aspect of it. And this game is it's light, it's quick, and it packs a good punch in 30 minutes. On the negative side of things, this is a very spatial game, and if you don't like putting sort of Tetris-style pieces around and looking forward, trying to figure out what you're going to do, this probably isn't going to be a game for you, because that's sort of half of the game at least. So spatially challenged players might need some help, whether to take a piece and see if it will fit and see what it will do, which might tip their hand to the other player. So it is a very spatial game, and that might not be for everybody. But other than that, if you're looking for a good 30-minute sort of tactical game, this is definitely one to check out, and that's Queenz. Did you miss the Game Topper 2.0 Kickstarter? Have no fear, it's not too late to get in on the ultimate gaming accessory. Convert your table into a high-quality gaming table with a fully portable Game Topper system, and take advantage of some of the best 3mm premium gaming mats in the industry. New styles, new sizes, and new accessories can be yours. Upgrade every game you play by late backing now at GameToppersLLC.com.